Spirit 105.3. Hi.
Hey, Erica, this is Russ.
Russ, thanks so much for making time to connect. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't believe it when I saw your story on Instagram. What happened at your Snohomish campus this weekend?
Yeah, well, Saturday morning, early about 4 a.m., church got broken into by, three different individuals in masks. Yeah, they ransacked the building, stole a bunch of computers, tech gear, files, speakers, you name it. Yeah, we're working this week to rebuild and try to get everything set right again. And yeah, it's been quite a mess.
What was your first reaction when you found out that this had happened?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. I mean, we have, security camera system and all sorts of things. And, it's pretty brazen crime to do, especially in the community that we're in. And yeah, I think I was just shocked because there seems to be even an honor amongst thieves most of the time. When it's a church, it usually feels like it's an off-limits type thing. But yeah, to see people on camera just running through and stealing stuff, and I mean, just crazy.
Yeah, it is. But you all decided you were going to have church anyway. So what was the response of your church family?
Yeah, it was great. I felt like people really rallied and came together and felt like, hey, look, we're going to take a stand. And even if something is getting robbed 12, 15 hours before Sunday morning service, we're going to pull together and make the best of it. And people really showed up and, supported. And it felt like we're not just going to allow a little headwind or a little trouble to keep us from having church and worshiping together. So it felt like people really came out, showed support.
That's awesome. I believe you were sharing this in your Instagram video, but how God always brings good out of bad. And that's true in this situation too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, the God that we serve, his specialty is taking what the enemy means for evil and using for good. And, for me, this is a great example to put that into practice and trust that somehow, some way, God has the ability to turn these things around and, ultimately use this for our advancement. And I feel like especially when the church goes through trouble, it's super important that we set the example for our people, that we actually believe what we preach. Yes. And, we can have joy and peace in the midst of conflict and know that, at the end of the day, God's still on the throne. And we're going to move forward and figure out how to replace stuff and make it work.
I love it. Are you all praying for these people who robbed you?
Yeah, I don't know if they thought that we was going to release their videos of their crimes on our social media, so maybe they've seen it by now. But, my hope is ultimately that these folks recognize, hey, this, wasn't a good idea, and maybe it's in our best interest to return the stuff and maybe go to church ourselves, get right with God. So, yeah, God's got a great way of working to convict people and bring them back full circle.
He can even use a robbery. That's how amazingly cool our God is.
Yes, ma'am.
Pastor Russ from Pursuit Northwest, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to hear a praise update.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated. Thanks, guys.